Welcome back to the Foundry by Forge College. So for today's explainer, I want you to imagine for just a second that you are a master architect. You've sketched out the designs, you've surveyed the land, you've tested all the materials. Well, now it is finally time to assemble the master blueprint for your Solana dapp. Honestly, it's actually a lot like putting together a massive, ridiculously complex piece of IKEA furniture. You finally have all the individual pieces scattered across the floor, and now you just need to follow the synthesis manual to lock the whole thing together. So today, we're finalizing your design draft, synthesizing all that prior work you've done into one undeniable source of truth.
And look, we're doing this to avoid situations exactly like this one. Wait, which smart contract does the buy button trigger? It's funny, right? But it's also a painfully real quote from a panicked developer. We have all seen that classic designer versus developer divide. You know the one, where a gorgeous user interface gets handed off, but absolutely no one knows what's actually supposed to happen under the hood when a user clicks something. By assembling a complete design draft today, we're synthesizing all of your prior artifacts to basically prevent your engineers from crying over undocumented UI buttons.
Okay, let's dive right in by defining our main goal. What exactly is a design draft? Well, it's a comprehensive blueprint mapping every single user-facing flow to explicit Solana smart contract interactions, trade-offs, and acceptance checks. This isn't just some random folder of loose ideas, okay? It is a concrete deliverable that definitively proves your dapp is ready for future development. Think of it as the ultimate bridge between a great idea and a fully functional application on the blockchain.
To get us to that final blueprint, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, gathering your master blueprints. Then, mapping clicks to contracts, followed by setting pass or fail tests. After that, we'll hit justifying your design trade-offs, the developer handoff, and lastly, final checkpoint verification.
All right, step 1, gathering your master blueprints. I'm going to put on my encouraging mentor hat for a second here and remind you of something important. You are not starting from scratch. You already have your capstone objectives, your user flow maps, your prototype increment plan, and your integration validation reports. You are simply taking those prioritized feature lists, your minimal viable interaction sets, and your DevNet robustness tests and placing them into a single, highly organized project folder. You're really just organizing the brilliance you've already created.
Moving right along, step 2, mapping clicks to contracts.
Now, this is where the rubber literally meets the road. We have to create canonical, one-to-one mappings for every single user flow you've designed. Building an interaction sequence table is what makes that traceability totally explicit. Think about how a UI trigger, like clicking Submit Listing, needs to map directly to a specific Solana program instruction sequence. In that case, it'd be init listing moving right to set metadata. You have to note the expected state changes, like a new listing account created, and clarify the transaction boundaries. Actually, is it a single transaction, or is it a multi-step sequence? Having this mapped out leaves absolutely zero room for guesswork.
Okay, step 3, setting pass or fail tests.
So a blueprint is completely useless if you can't actually verify that it works once it's built, right? Which brings us to setting firm, measurable acceptance criteria. Take the number 95. What does that actually mean? Well, as an example, your target threshold might be a 95th percentile payment flow latency finality. That is a highly specific, measurable metric. Your acceptance checks absolutely must be executable on DevNet or a local validator, and they need to clearly state the preconditions, the inputs, and the exact pass or fail thresholds. You can't just wave your hands and say, the payment should be fast. You have to quantify it.
Next up, step 4, justifying your design trade-offs.
This flows directly into defending the architectural choices you made during prototype planning and integration testing. Why did you build it this way? Let's be real. This is the ultimate question your team, your stakeholders, or your auditors are going to ask you, and you must have a rock-solid answer. You need to record your top 5 design decisions in a trade-off log. You'll be evaluating major choices like, whether you opted for single transaction versus multi-transaction flows, or why you chose to store certain data on-chain versus off-chain.
There is a massive night and day difference between a weak and a strong trade-off justification. A weak trade-off is just shrugging and saying, I just liked this way better. A strong trade-off says, tested on DevNet, saved 15% on storage costs without impacting UX. Strong trade-offs require citing hard evidence. You need to detail the practical implications for development effort, cost, and specifically for Solana capabilities, things like rent exemption and program-derived addresses or PDA.
All right, step 5, the developer handoff. Now we package the whole shebang up for the engineering team so they don't have to guess how to implement a single pixel of your vision. Your handoff package needs to include an API and instruction summary,
clear data model sketches, sequence diagrams for those really complex multi-step flows, and a prioritized backlog. Oh, and if you used a framework like Anchor, definitely note that here as well. Compiling all these artifacts perfectly sets the stage for taking further Forge College courses like the Foundations of UI/UX Principles program, where you're going to rely on this exact documentation to refine those front-end interaction details.
And finally, step 6, final checkpoint verification.
Listen, before you even think about hitting submit on this capstone increment, we have to perform a rigorous validation checkpoint. We need to ensure absolutely no undocumented notes remain just floating around in your head. It all needs to be on the page. Just follow these 4 steps sequentially. First, do a traceability spot check. Pick 5 random flows and confirm the instruction mapping is perfect. Second, run an acceptance test review on 3 core flows to ensure they output measurable data. Third, audit your top 5 trade-off decisions to make sure the evidence is explicitly stated. And fourth, confirm your developer handoff completeness. Ensure your sequence diagrams and data models make sense even to a developer who is entirely unfamiliar with your project.
At the end of the day, a great dapp isn't just built on code, it's built on clarity. When you map the UI directly to Solana instructions and back it all up with measurable tests and justified trade-offs, you create a product that engineers can actually build without losing their minds. So I'll leave you with this. Before you write a single line of code, what will your design draft reveal about the true readiness of your dapp? To dive deeper into Web3 and master these principles, head over to forge.college and keep building. Thanks for hanging out and learning with me today.